Yes guys, and welcome back to another video, and as you can tell by the title, the thumbnail, and the presence of this bloke here, Tom Canan, we are speaking about strikers again, or should I say, more specifically, a striker being Tom Canan. So Tom Canan is someone who we've mentioned on the channel several times in the past, be it because he's scoring goals against us, or because he's been linked with us in the past. And that's exactly what's happening right now. There is rumours, there's reports, and there seems to be some pretty solid reports that are going around as well, that Sunderland and Sheffield United are both going head-to-head for his signature, but it seems Sunderland might just be edging the race because they have slapped down a huge offer that we will get into. So I want to kind of just start from the beginning, from a few days ago to where we are now, because then it will make a bit more sense. So essentially, Tom Canan has been on loan at Stoke for the first half of the season, and it was expected to complete the season at Stoke. But Leicester, his parent club, did have the option to recall him as of, I think, the midnight last night was the deadline for them to be able to recall. Now, the rumours and reports were that the only reason Leicester would recall him if there was a legitimate bid there that they wanted to accept to actually purchase him or loan to buy. So that would be the only reason they would recall, not just for the sake of it. They would want to recall him if he was going to be sold. So with all the rumours that Sheffield United and Sunderland were after him, and then they actually did activate the recall. They recalled him apparently just before midnight last night, and it was announced this morning. That signals that offer has been accepted somewhere, be it Sunderland or Sheffield United, or maybe somewhere else. The reports might be way off. So this has got people excited. Now, the rumours are that Sheffield United had offered £7 million, which apparently had been rejected by Leicester. So at that moment, it seemed as though it just seemed like Sheffield United will just do a bit of negotiating. They might throw in a few add-ons, and that'll be all tied up in a bow, and Tom Canan will be heading to Sheffield United. But late last night, Sunderland seemed to just steamroll this deal, and apparently have offered a loan fee to loan him for the remainder of the season, and then a few add-ons in there, and then a whopping £13 million to purchase him if we go up this season, if we get promoted, which apparently is looking very favourable to Leicester in terms of a deal in itself. It's looking a lot more juicy and a lot more appetising for them, a lot more tempting. So it seems as though Sunderland have somehow got in front of this race ahead of Sheffield United. Apparently Sheffield United aren't looking to match that, or at least that was the case, until about 20 minutes before me recording this video. I did look, and there's been further reports that Sheffield United have matched, or at least matched a similar-ish bid for Tom Canan. And now, again, I keep on saying reports and rumours, but it is reports from, I think it's Nixon at the moment, who gets very 50-50, some things right, some things wrong. But apparently it is just sort of in the hand of Tom Canan now. But that is, again, it is just rumoured as to whether Sheffield United have matched our bid, or if our original bid is actually real in the first place. So it seems like it is in the hands of Tom Canan. But the exciting thing is, or even just from a neutral perspective, regardless of whether you're Sheffield United or Sunderland or not, because it was announced, as soon as midnight passed last night, everyone just thought, okay, well, he's staying at Stoke then because they can't recall him now. And then first thing this morning, Leicester have announced, and Stoke have announced, that he's gone back to Leicester and Leicester have recalled him. So that immediately triggers the thought process for both Sheffield United fans and Sunderland fans that, okay, well, one of us has got him then. An offer has been accepted somewhere. So Tom Canan basically has to choose between these clubs or somewhere else. But that remains to be seen. Now, my thoughts on this, I've seen a lot of people not happy with the £13 million price tag. For me, personally, which I have been asked, would I pay £13 million, or do I think he is worth £13 million right now? No. I think he's worth half of that. Maybe a little bit more. I'd maybe say 6.5, 7 million, maybe 7.5. I can understand why that price tag will be on him. He's only, 22 years of age. He's scored plenty of goals this season. Although you do need to take into consideration that one game he scored 4 goals, and I think 3 of them were penalties. So not to say that those aren't good. Do you know what I mean? It's great to score penalties and score 4 in one game as well. You can't take that accolade away from him just because it is in one game. But those are just little facts to take into consideration. He's done it before at Preston. He has a very decent record, and I know that a lot of people will just look at statistics of goals and what have you, but whenever I've seen him play, and particularly whenever he's played us, we know he's there. Do you know, someone like a Dan Ballard, he always lets him know he's there, or against whoever he's up against, a Luke O'Nien, a Mepham who's there at the time. Usually, we know Tom Canan is there, and he looks like such a threat. He looks like such a typical number 9, like ruffling some feathers, using his strength, using his size. He's very, very clever. He just seems wise beyond his years in that sense, where back to goal, he can quickly just work a little bit of space and ping one towards goal. He's very, very much an old school, typical number 9 in that sense. And it would make, if it does go through, of course, hypothetically, it would make for great competition for Wilson Isidore. Does Isidore drop to the bench if Canan arrives? In my opinion, absolutely not. I think Isidore is probably ahead in terms of development. Maybe they could play as a 2. The one thing I don't like, of course, with the 4-4-2 recently, when we have played Mayenda and Isidore up top in the league, on the counter-attack, it looks fantastic because they've got blistering pace. But I do find that we do look a bit too open in the middle, and we're almost asking for it a little bit in terms of attacks because we kind of rely on that counter-attack of the pace of those two. So if we were to go for 4-4-2 with Canan and Isidore up top, it might work out because you've got someone who the ball will stick to, and that's something I've cried out for a lot. You know, when we do have to resort to just hoof it football, which does happen sometimes, it's just the way it works in football. Under a lot of pressure, you need to just twat the ball away. That's it, just batter it away. And we don't really have that outlet for the ball to stick to them. And he can do that because he has that physical presence, he has that strength, that aerial ability. He can do that so he can stick to him up top and hold onto the ball and so we can progress and attack. He has that, whereas we don't really have that elsewhere, that sort of natural strength and build. He has that in abundance. And of course, he is a good finisher as well. I know Stoke will argue that he does have off days and he can pop up here and there with goals, but with no disrespect to Stoke, around a better side, or a side with a lot of quality that make a lot of chances, largely, or at least you would expect him to do better, and he will get a lot of chances playing for Sunderland, as he would if he went to Sheffield United. This isn't me saying he's dead on he's coming to Sunderland, by the way. It's just exciting. I think it's exciting. I think it'd be a great signing. Is he worth 30 million? No. But if you go to the Premier League, if signing him, even if he scores 3 or 4 goals, and that's it, but plays really, really well, that was kind of my point. Stats on everything. Stats on everything. He has so much more to his game than just goals. I know that's what a lot of people want in strikers, but he has so much more to his game than goals. So even if he does score only 2 or 3 goals, maybe a couple of assists here and there, but plays really well, he's battering defensive lines, his press is fantastic. At 13 million, and we go up as well, 13 million is nothing. If we go up, we go to the Premier League, we spend 13 million. We could spend 30 for all I care, but if we get back to the Premier League, it makes it worth it. And the thing is, it's not really that much of a gamble in that because of his age and his profile at the moment as well, even if it doesn't go to plan and we don't go up and we want to sell him, he will still, I think, very, very easily, we would make back a lot of the money on Tom Canan because other teams will, be it championship teams or whatever, they will take a punt on the lad because he is good. He is a good player. So, yeah, that is the update. That is the news at the moment. And I think what's really pushed this forward as well is there are some heavy, heavy reports that Connolly is going to be leaving to go to Millwall. I don't know whether that's going to be a loan deal with a view to purchase or what. I'm not too sure. But that is what's been reported as well, Connolly, which it hasn't worked for him, has it? Sadly, you know, he looked okay when he scored his first goal and we thought he'd push on. Then he fell out of the team after a bit of an injury, and then when he gets back, he just didn't really suit our game at all at the moment, which is a shame, but it happens. So if Connolly does go, it leaves us short, and we're definitely going to need a striker anyway. Is this going to be the replacement? We shall see. But let me know how you feel about it in the comments down below, and if you've enjoyed, hit the like button for me. It's always so appreciated, and subscribe if you're new. But for now, take care, stay jammy, away the lads.